many trips I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live, I don't know what these mad for. I just signed a deal and got a really big bag for it. You still at your mama crib, ain't getting money, you gotta ask for it. I'm tired of complaining, I gotta bitch change my situation. Looking at the view outside, I thought I would never make it. Every day these take, but that don't stop the money making. If you want it, go and take it, ain't no point in hesitating. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind.
Well, Coach, the seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Green Bay Packers. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Green 18.
Rodgers now on first down. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
First down, Green Bay.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where he, their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see. And right away, he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
They find some open field here. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one covers 29 yards, first down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
258.
Now Jones trying to run inside, but nothing there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. The third-year back from BYU, Jamal Williams with a carry. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll make it third and goal. Working from the gun, Rodgers. This is caught, and he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his 9th touchdown of the season, and they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Crosby connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. C.J. Anderson with it. Of course, a big part of the Rams' run to the Super Bowl last year. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
Set, lady.
Bandit. Watch twist.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. A gain of 3, second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Get wide.
On 2nd and 7, Stafford. And Thomas has it. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Mike 42. It's been a long day for you.
From the 50, Stafford. Complete to Jones. And he's got this down to the 35. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
You got three down.
Now Anderson. Kevin King coming up from the secondary to make the play.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford, Packer pressure, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here.
Set. Go 20.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
A 57-yard attempt.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway as we grind toward the end of the season here. And they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. And they try to sweep to Jones. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
On first down, Stafford here. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it 2nd down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot, because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Kenny Clark in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Packers will get the football at their own 20-yard line. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They're going to be stopped up on this first down run. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
At the 20-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now it's Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 26 and a first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1. I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On 2nd and 9, Rodgers, and he whips that one incomplete there. He was looking for his running back, Aaron Jones, that time. And it's 3rd down.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
On third down, Rodgers. And Adams has it, complete. And he's got this down to the 35. 17 yards on the play there as the Packers have the first down as well. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And that's complete to Adams. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That one goes for 30 yards. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Aaron Jones with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Crosby with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. From the 50, it's Stafford. Got an open man, it's Ratley. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. The shotgun snap for Stafford. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Damian Ratley in the final seconds of the first half, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a...
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Okay, Coach. Appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. There's a ball thrown right side and complete. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. Caught by Jones. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They run. Anderson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Vanderbilt's own Oren Burks had the tackle defensively.
Brings up 3rd down and 7.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the 3rd down stop. Operating from the gun, Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Rashawn Gary able to record his 5th sack of the season. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Returnable here for Davis. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Packer football here, 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to 1st.
That's something we have not seen him do to this point, and that's take the ball, tuck it, and run.
Exactly right. His first carry of the game. I guess he picked a good time to do it.
He certainly did. Not only did he have the element of surprise, he's making sure he's judicious in taking off.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. Nice stiff arm.
Underused, but
there he goes, right side. Touchdown, Packers. Jamal Williams, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away. Anderson loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Rashawn Gary able to record his 5th sack of the season.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
53, ready, shot!
From the gun, Stafford. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Preston Smith, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Here's Sam Martin now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Davis now to return it. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Elsewhere, a 3rd quarter score from NRG Stadium in Houston. And it's the Texans who have scored to grab the lead there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
26. Switch.
Again, it's Williams. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Throwing is Rodgers. Open here is Allison. That's complete. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Rodgers to Allison, good for a Green Bay 1st down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now a 1st down carry, it's Williams. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They run it again with Williams. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
Let's go, team.
To throw on 3rd down, Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They start the drive with Anderson. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
10th carry now for Anderson. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. Lions go for it on fourth. It's Stafford. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Rashawn Gary. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position.
Blue 58.
Check the out, check the out, check the out.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 there. Second down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Williams. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
And he's got about 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 25.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, here's Williams. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. Now Mason Crosby for the Packers field goal try. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on football,
under pressure, and they got to him again. Preston Smith make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Now on 2nd and 16, Stafford. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Preston Smith in there to get him, and on the season now that is 9 sacks for him. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Operating from the gun, Stafford, he's going to let it fly. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Adrian Amos, the safety, able to make the play. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They snap it to Stafford. Pressure gets there, and he goes down. Now, there's also a flag, but this might be on the offense anyway. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. On 2nd and goal, standing alone in the backfield is Williams.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Far count. Stand up in.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? And they will take a knee here. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Packers, it will wind up a 500 season as the win means they'll finish right at 8-8. And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for the Lions, well, not much more to say except it was a sheer disaster from beginning to end as they do indeed.